Tonight, I have in the studio with me Mr. Danny Purcell. I tell you, I bet everybody's saying, and who is he? Take a better look. You've seen him before. You've seen him on the Jeter Family program. Danny is, the first time he came, he was part of the 3 old men. Now they're slimmed down to 2 old men because Ronnie bought the station. He doesn't have time. But no problem figuring out which one Danny is. He is the one that has a heavenly voice. I've never heard anything like it. No, that's the truth. And we have a lot of singers. We have a lot of guests, but I've never heard anything like it. Really enjoy your singing.
Well, I appreciate you saying that, but I don't think it's that special.
Well, that's because you hear it all the time.
Yeah, that's true.
But Danny, let's get to know you. Where are you from?
Ashland, Mississippi.
Ashland. You always lived there?
No, for about, I guess around 15 years I lived up in Memphis in DeSoto County.
Oh, really?
My wife and I lived in DeSoto County. We started living up there in 82. Mm-hmm. So that's 82. Where we stayed until 97, but I'd lived in Memphis previously before that.
Who were your parents?
My mother was Elizabeth Purcell. She was an Autry, Elizabeth Autry. My dad was Wayne Purcell. Mm-hmm. My granddaddy, Kyle Purcell. Probably a lot of people might remember him. And Verge Autry was my granddaddy on my mother's side.
Are there a lot of Purcells in Ashland?
Not to my knowledge now, only one.
Only one?
Yeah, only one that I know of.
That's what Pat and Harrison say. They're the only Cowsards in Tippah County.
Yeah. I'm the only one left. My uncle died just about 4 or 5 years ago. He was the only other one beside myself at that point.
Did you have brothers and sisters?
I have a sister.
You have a sister? Mm-hmm. Who's your sister?
Teresa.
Teresa, that's
Teresa
pretty.
Dunlap.
Mm-hmm. Where'd you go to school?
Went to school at Ashland. Graduated from Ashland, Mississippi. Went to Northwest Mississippi College. Graduated from there in...
Northwest? Where's Northwest?
Northwest, Senatobia.
Senatobia. Mm-hmm. Wow. We all go northeast.
Yeah, that's true. Everybody here goes northeast.
Movable.
Yeah, mm-hmm. Northwest was for me.
Northwest. What'd you study?
I took heating and air conditioning and a lot of math.
Oh.
Yeah, it was difficult.
I'm not good at math. Is that what you did most of your life?
No, actually, I ended up not doing that. I worked at Wurlitzer for a while in Holly Springs, early 70s. And then I wanted to do music so much that I actually started trying to write songs while I was in college. And that's about the first time I started. And so I got connected with a gentleman from Memphis, Mr. Bill Harris. Okay. And he and I started working together and worked together for years in music. And then in 80, I started working for Malone and Hyde.
Oh.
And I worked with Malone and Hyde until 97, I believe, and I moved over to AutoZone from there.
Oh. Well, tell us about this Bill Harris.
Bill he actually married a lady from here in Ripley, Miss Velma Street. And I got to know him actually through Ronnie's mother. She got us together. And once we talked and was doing some songwriting then. And I don't know, we just kind of gelled and worked good together, you know. Mm-hmm. So I worked with him, and we did a lot of things in the music, and had a studio for a while up in Memphis, right off of Union. And that's where I really learned a lot of stuff.
Had your own studio?
Yeah, we did.
Yeah.
And actually, there was about 4 or 5 different people involved in it, and we stayed there for about 2 years, and it just, I don't know, it's hard. A studio is hard to make it really pay like you want it to pay. And we actually did it in a little different vein of the thing. We had a lot of people that wanted to record and wanted to be in the music business, but they had no knowledge of it. So what we tried to do is educate them as to what they were looking at and how they were going to approach it. And then I did a lot of training with people in vocal training, teaching them to get to the point where they could actually maybe be commercial and maybe have some value in recording a record, recording a song. And helped a lot of people write songs that wanted to write, they would, but it would end up liking a whole lot to actually be commercial.
Now, if there's someone out there watching, now you've made it in the music business. And if there's someone out there watching, maybe a young person or somebody maybe not so young that's interested in the music business, what advice would you get them to get started? How would you, anything you start, you got to get your foot in the door. What would you advise them to do?
Well, if it's singing they want to do, first thing I would suggest is learn to listen and listen deep, because what you hear and what you actually produce out of your own vocal abilities is usually quite different, because it takes a lot of technique. It's a lot of using what you have and developing your voice, learning to sing from a diaphragm rather than in your throat. And if it's musical, just playing an instrument, practice. That's about all you can say for that, is practice and listen, and don't be afraid to learn from anybody, because anybody you meet that offers you any suggestion, no matter what you might think. See, most people tend to think that since I can do this, I don't need to listen to anybody, but they're wrong. They need to listen. Take whatever you can from anybody that you meet, because everybody has something to offer, if you'll just listen.
Now, I know when we first started the Jeter Family Program, well, I would sing with tape. You know that, did you?
Yeah.
Yes, I did. And then one time I went home and I played, I had recorded it, and I played it back. So much for that. What you sing into that microphone and what you think it sounds is not always what it sounds, is it?
No, until you learn to listen deep enough. Your ear has also got to learn to hear what's coming out. Then you can learn what you want to come out and how to do it so that your ear is happy with you.
It's just not that simple, is it?
No.
Well, then he said, yeah, you're going to have a part. You're going to do something. He got me a tambourine.
Yeah.
That's pitiful. Took me a year to learn to keep time. That's real talent here. And then when I finally got where I could play the tambourine pretty fair, he got me a guitar. Yeah. That's not the same thing. Oh, you gotta kind of have an ear for it.
That's true.
I don't have it.
And if you don't have it at first, sometimes you can develop that ear.
Really?
Yeah, it just takes listening. Now, that not in every case.
If I really work at it, I'm 110.
If you learn to separate pitch, tones in your ear, it'll grow.
Oh, pitiful. I think you got to have some basic talent.
You probably do need to have a little rhythm, a little timing involved in that.
I play the tambourine best when Harrison is here. I watch his hand.
Yeah. Right.
Is that crazy?
No,
Can't watch Tate's hand because he picks Harrison's drums, and I learned to watch his hand.
That's not a bad idea. That's a good idea.
But I never got the gist of the guitar. I learned to make the chords, don't know when to change them. That's pitiful.
Yeah,
and see, here you have done so well. You really have. But I've skipped over. Are you married? Yes, you are. I know your wife. She's sweet.
I am married, yes.
She's a sweetheart. Do you have children?
I have one stepson.
Do you?
Yeah.
How old is he?
He's 37.
37.
He was 4 years old when we got married, so he's, I believe 4, maybe 5. I can't remember exactly now. A long time ago. 30-some odd years ago we got married. Yeah.
Oh, man. That's a blessing. In this life, sometimes maybe we don't realize we're so blessed to have each other.
Definitely.
Just R.
Definitely, I depend on my wife quite a bit.
Oh, absolutely. Oh. But you didn't, when you started out, you didn't take singing lessons or nothing?
No, other than what Bill taught me and working with him.
Brilliant.
And that was pretty basic stuff,
Mm-hmm.
that I hadn't thought of.
Mm-hmm. Ronnie, can you show this? This is Bill Harris. And this is actually an article. Do you remember what year?
Probably 79.
Isn't
that
that
area.
something? Is this when you started your? Well, I got my fingers over it.
That's actually at the studio. Yeah. That was made at the studio. It was an old church, and we redid it.
Mm-hmm.
You see the stained glass windows.
Oh yes, but I thought that was beautiful.
It was nice.
Something extra.
And it had a huge. We had one side that we used for the office space and for the teaching and training, and then the other side was a huge hall that we used for the recording studio.
But it says here, Harris, a former manager for country music artist Conway Twitty, is joined in the venture by Tommy Farrell, Vice President, and Bob Gilder, Secretary-Treasurer. Danny Purcell is in charge of development and production, with Alvin Simpson. Victor Miller is the chief engineer, assisted by Bernie Miller. Now, I believe I've heard of Bernie Miller.
No, he was actually in the Navy at Millington.
Oh, really?
So I don't think
Maybe it's not the same one.
Vic was Bill's son-in-law.
Oh.
He was an excellent.
But y'all did jazz and
We did.
Southern. You just did
everything.
music.
Disco was popular at that point too, so we even did some disco. Worked with people that wanted to do disco. Is what I'm saying.
It's Musicplex
Musicplex
of Memphis, New Memphis Complex. Isn't that neat? It tells where it's at, and that is really good. Something, just something. Well, how'd you learn to play the guitar?
My dad taught me.
Really?
Yep.
Well,
He had an old Sears and Roebuck catalog that I guess he bought when he was a teenager because it was old, and he had played it so much that the fretboard had wore down where he'd used it so much, and that's what I learned to play guitar and started on.
Well, now, I tell you, Tate told me, I'm going to ask him where he learned to play the guitar, and Tate told me, he said he's an old-time guitar picker. He said that the older players pick.
Now, I'm not a picker actually as far as picking notes. I just play chords. I never do too much on the picking. Roger's good at that.
He says you play old-time music.
He may be right about that. Now, 'cause I learned from my dad.
Roger is so talented.
Oh, yes, he is.
Oh,
He's
telling you.
Does an excellent job.
He is fantastic. And I think he's kind of quiet. He never says much. But when he strikes up that guitar, that says it all.
It does. But you get to know him. He's funny.
Yeah, he is.
He's
when he
very
says
humorous.
something. When he says something. But he doesn't say a whole lot.
No, he
He
doesn't.
really doesn't.
He doesn't say a lot.
Where do you sing? Now, the two of you are singing again. Now, I know that y'all, the three old men, went everywhere. Went nursing homes, churches, benefits. Where do you sing?
Pretty much the same thing. We do nursing homes. We're doing Magnolia, New Albany. We do Golden Living. We do some churches still. We got a church coming up this month, Friendship Church. And, of course, we did it over here the last couple of weeks ago. We got one more week this month to come over here. So that's pretty much that. Just churches,
Staying busy.
nursing homes, and whatever comes our way.
If they would like to book you for a church, how do they do that?
Just give me a call, and I can give you my phone number right now if you'd like.
Go ahead.
901-606-2047. That'll get.
And if for some reason you didn't get it down, call me. Because I've got it. Call me, call the station. We'll get you hooked up. Because now they're fantastic. I'll tell you. And
We'd love to go to anybody's church. We'd love to do churches.
Is there a cover charge or?
No.
No, I didn't think so.
We don't charge anything for what we do.
Mm-hmm. You know, when you really do something for the Lord,
That's right.
it's that. But now some people do full time. You know, it takes money to keep them buses rolling. But you do. You still go to the nursing homes?
Yes. Going to Magnolia next week. As a matter of fact.
Now, in this studio, you did all kinds of music. Did you used to sing country?
Yeah.
Did you?
I did. Sure did.
Can't imagine.
Wrote a lot of country songs, as a matter of fact. And this man would shop them for me. That was a good thing.
Oh.
Bill, yeah, he would, because he was going to Nashville quite often. You know, so
Mm-hmm.
if I got a good demo down, you know, and he'd help me do the demos too, because I had a studio there.
Mm-hmm.
So I'd just go next door, and a lot of times I could do it myself, you know, just set up, walk around the mic and do it, and just have a dead space, you know, just edit it out.
Uh-huh.
And then record the demo, and give it to him, and when he was going.
Well, did you perform your songs or did you sell them?
I didn't. I wasn't a performer. No.
Uh-huh. You was a writer.
I was just a writer and a teacher, so to speak.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yep.
If there is someone listening who needs this instruction, would you be willing to help somebody get started?
I would. As a matter of fact, I haven't taught anybody voice or anything lately, but I do teach some guitar lessons now. Give some guitar lessons, yeah. Sure do. Just the basics, not a picker now, but I can, you know, I do the basic stuff. Yeah, sure. I love to work with people with their voice, so that's really a challenge, and it's you know, it's just fulfilling to do that. You know, really is.
I'll tell you what, I'd like to learn when to change chords. Tate's done everything but choke me, tried to make me figure it out. Bless his heart. I think some of that you can't learn. I don't know.
You develop a feel for it sometimes.
Well, how long have you actually been doing gospel music?
Since about 2000. I mean, I diddled in it a little bit before, but in 2000 I kind of got where that's what I wanted to do.
Mm-hmm. Why?
Well, the Lord has been good to me. He's blessed me in so many ways. And I felt that's the least I could do, you know, to serve Him some more than what I was, you know, or had. You get caught up in life sometimes. And
We
you
do.
don't serve Him as well as you should.
We do.
And that, and I had some rough times there in 2000 physically, you know, health-wise. And He got me through all that, you know, and just made me think, hey, I need to do this. So I started writing some gospel songs. Probably out of what you've heard us do, a percentage of those are homemade songs. You know, probably 10 to 12 of them that you've heard, maybe more. I didn't count them. I just put them in our lineup and we just do them, you know.
Yes. You know, these days, you don't see a lot of people that play music. It's like a dying art. The CDs, you know, or computer, or kind of moving up front, and it's easy, you know. You just mash a button and you got your music going, and you know, people are kind of taken to that.
They have.
But what do you think?
I guess it's got its purpose and a spot, but I still love the actual hands-on making the music. You know, it's true, it's real, it's not, a lot of it, what you hear is not really real, synthetic or synthesized. You know, I like the real stuff. It just sounds, it's what I grew up with, what I'll always like, no matter what.
I do too. Where'd your dad play?
Where did he play? You know, he played, now this was years before my time, but from listened to him, and there was a gentleman over there, Mr. Willard Massengill, that they grew up together there in the same part of Benton County there, Yellow Rabbit Bottom. And he played a fiddle, and Daddy played the guitar, and they played a lot of dances back when they were younger, before they both got married or went out to the military. They played dances around in that area.
That's a neat history, isn't it?
It really is.
That is wonderful.
It really is.
That is a neat history. You know, back in those days, there wasn't a lot, of course, there wasn't a lot of money and a lot of places to go, and if there was, you couldn't afford them, and they would just, this and they'd grab up a guitar and that, and they'd get a wash tub or something. They just made music.
You're right, they did.
They did.
Sure
And whoever was available just got together.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't necessarily the same people all the time, because I know that I know the Jeters did.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Some of the brothers, and you know what? Somehow I think some of this music ability is kind of hereditary. I just dreamed that up. I thought it up, but I think it. I really do. But I'm afraid that the live music is becoming a lost art, because it's so easy. You know, now they've got the computers, and you just mash a button and go with it. You know, but now I've sat by Tate a lot of years, and if he misses something, you can fix that. When it's on a CD, you can't fix it.
Can't fix it. Another thing that that you're talking about, the CDs and things, if you really playing your own instrument and making it lends you to be a little more creative. You know, when you take this CD, you lose the creativeness. Is gone.
You're just trying to do what they do.
That's it. That's part, to me, that's part of being able to produce your music. You can be creative with it. And with myself and Roger both, he's very creative.
Yes, he is.
And obviously, you know, we both work together to create what we think in one way or another is what we want to hear. And hopefully everybody else does too. You know? Will enjoy it anyway. Sure.
But I know I've seen Tate miss a word or get on the wrong verse, and you know, you can go back and redo it. But when it's what I call canned music, you can't fix that.
No, you're right.
If you ever mess, I've seen people say, "Wait a minute, start that over." You know, rewind it, and everybody's sitting there waiting, and you know, they're like, "Well, come on," you know.
Yeah, you're right.
Oh, it's something, and you've got that time to wait between CDs starting up. You've got you're losing time there. You know, in our program, we don't do a lot of talking. We do more music. Yeah. You know, we tend toward more music.
We don't do a lot of talking either, obviously.
No, you don't get Roger to do a lot of talking.
No. I don't do a lot. I like just making the music.
Oh, well, where'd you meet Ron? Where'd you meet Roger? How'd you get with
Roger?
the three? Yeah, how'd y'all become three old? One time y'all were probably three young men.
Yeah, well, true. Ronnie and I I had written some songs for Ronnie that he was using in some videos, and he and I just started trying to piddle with it a little bit, and we were looking for a guitar player we were recording some stuff to actually do some playing on what we recorded, and Ronnie knew Roger, and he got in touch with him, and he came over to Ronnie's house one day, and I went out and we worked on some recordings that we had partially finished. And I said, goodness gracious, this is just what I've been wanting to hear, a gentleman that could play guitar just like he did.
Oh, he is so good.
And it actually ended up, I asked him, I said, would you be interested in playing in some churches? He said, yeah. And then we coaxed Ronnie in to join us and playing bass, and that's how we got started.
I think Roger is fantastic. Ronnie's a good bass player.
Yeah.
But he doesn't do a lot of it anymore. He's, you know, of course, as I say, he's bought the station.
Yeah, it's been pretty busy.
Kind of keeps him going. He hunts some still.
Yeah.
He goes hunting. If you need
relaxation,
him,
you know.
Yeah, if you need him, you call a cell phone.
Yeah. That's true.
He probably says, you want that noise in him hunting. Somebody asked me once, and I thought, you know, you really got to put some thought into it. Why do you keep on going? You know, when Oh, let's face it, like I say, you've had some health problems. We've had some health problems. And, you know, you got to carry all this equipment in, carry it out, your gas money, you got to keep your equipment up, practice, practice, practice. Why do you keep doing it?
Well, that's a pretty good question.
That's what I thought.
I mean, I can't think of a.
Well, I
Financially,
mean,
there's no reason to do it.
No, it's expensive, and sometimes the weather's crummy.
Yeah, it
and
is. And
yeah.
the only reason I can say is it gives you a. First of all, you're serving the Lord. We are, in our case. We try to. And sometimes I'm sure we fail at that. But, it's just the satisfaction of being able to do that is one thing. And Roger and I both, I just love to sing and play.
Uh-huh.
And he does too. He loves to play. So, and then again, it's that creativeness that we like too. Being able to take something that's raw, like a new song that maybe we've written, and just build it into something that, hey, gosh, sounds pretty good. Mm-hmm. It's a creative thing too.
Yeah, it kind of becomes not what you do; it becomes some of what you are.
Yeah, I think you're probably right about that.
It's really hard to give up. It's hard to let it go.
It is.
I know sometimes you get to where you feel so bad and you just can't hardly drag yourself down there, and then sometimes you don't want to give it up, because if you get better, then it's gone.
That's true.
It's true. Something to think about.
There's been some times that we've had places to play that, I mean, one time I had fallen. I fell quite a bit, and I had damaged the leg or injured it, and I could barely get in there. But once I got there and sat down, I was okay. So, but that's just part of it. You just don't want to give it up.
I've seen times when Tate was so sick. That one time here, he took the broom that they sweep the floor with and used it for a crutch, because he was about to fall over, and actually did go in the hospital in the next couple of days and was on life support. But he just didn't want to. He just didn't want to give it up. Yeah. When he came off life support. He started pitching fit to go home. He was still in the room. Doctor hadn't released him. He said, "Well, I don't care what he says. I'm going home. We got a program to do." Mm-hmm. And I'm like, "Program? Nothing." But he was, and I said, "You're not able." He said, "Just let me be in the room." He said, "Daryl, I won't do nothing. Just let me sit on the couch and listen." I knew he was putting me on. He got down here. He was ready to go.
It's that strong desire to be there and to do.
It's part of you.
It's part of living for you. It's part of your life.
It kind of picks you up. Mm-hmm. He's a hoofing to get back down here now. He's just had a fit to get back on his program. And Jerry has done a great job. He really has. But he just, every little thing, I was like, I got to get back down there. I got to get back down there. But it does. I believe it becomes a part of you.
It becomes part of you, and you just don't want to give it up. It's a part of your life.
And like I say, sometimes we're really not able to carry all that equipment, and we're just not.
No, it's difficult.
But you make yourself do, because it's your life.
Yeah,
it's what's in you. It's what's in you.
It's your life.
I tell you what, we're about to get close up on time. I'm gonna go off with your music. I want everybody to hear this heavenly voice. I'm telling you, it is heavenly. If you've not heard Danny sing, honey, stay tuned. You're in for a treat. Because they are fantastic. This is Danny and Roger Yancey. And actually it came off of the Jeter family program. He didn't know I was going to do that.
No, I didn't. And she's been very kind.
I do all kind of sneaky stuff.
There's nothing special about me, I'm telling you. I'm just an old country boy.
Oh, it's fantastic. So we'll go off with them singing. We've enjoyed this hour together. Don't forget the Jeter family program Saturday night at 7 o'clock. I do hope you'll tune us in again next Monday night at 7 for Daryl's Little Corner. May God bless y'all. Stay tuned.
That's what makes you weak. If you know you're weak, then you know you need someone. And oh, it's a funny thing, that's what makes you strong. That's what makes you strong. That's what gives you power. That's what lets the meek come sit beside the king. That's what lets us smile in our final hour. That's what makes our songs. That's what makes us sing. Disappointed. It's never what you wanted, and it happens every time. If you're the trusting kind, this don't ever cross your mind. And oh, it's a funny thing, but that's what makes us strong. That's what makes you strong. That's what gives you power. That's what lets the meek come sit beside the king. That's what lets us smile in our final hour. That's what moves our souls, and that's what makes us sing. That's what makes you strong. That's what gives you power. That's what lets the meek come sit beside the king. That's what lets us smile in our final hour. That's what moves our souls. That's what makes us sing. All right. Let's skip that. Let's do that one. Okay. Not my will, but thine. guiding hand, till before you I stand. Even so, not my will, but thine. As the blood drops rolled red down his face, he still prayed that thy will be done. If it be thy will, let this cup pass from me. Even so, not my will, but thine. Not my will, but thine, Lord. Not my will, but thine. I will trust your guiding hands, till before you I stand. Even so, not my will, but thine. And so, not my will, but thine. No, we won't get it right. Can we walk in his shoes? We shouldn't complain, we shouldn't cry, we shouldn't ask or wonder why. Just read the Bible every night and try to do what's right. And when my days finally end, it's still alive, filled with sin. Can we walk in his shoes? Can we pay those heavy dues? Can we carry that cross a mile or two? Can we be the kind of man who likes to lend a helping hand? Can we be more like Jesus today? He never complained, he never cried, he never asked or wondered why. Just took our sins up a hill and paid our earthly bill. And I thank God he gave his son, 'cause through him life is won. Can we walk in his shoes? Can we pay those heavy dues? Can we carry that cross a mile or two? Can we be the kind of man who likes to lend a helping hand? Can we be more like Jesus today? Can we walk in his shoes? Can we pay those heavy dues? Can we carry that cross a mile or two? Can we be the kind of man who likes to lend a helping hand? Can we be more like Jesus today? Can we be more like Jesus today? Two more times and we'll get it. Struggling. All right. Mhm. There's an old song I'm sure you all will remember. Where could I go? Living below in this old sinful world, hardly a comfort can afford, striving alone to face temptation so. Where could I go but to the Lord? Where could I go? Oh, where could I go? Seeking a refuge for my soul, needing a friend to help me in the end. Where could I go but to the Lord? Life here is grand with friends I love so dear. Comfort I get from God's own